It's Howie season, guys. Preseason is over. We're less than 2 weeks from the regular season, and it's Howie season. Howie Roseman gets to work today. Final cutdowns for the Philadelphia Eagles begin this week. And hey, maybe the Phillies don't really suck that much. I don't know. Go Ninja, go Ninja, go Ninja, go. And a very good morning, everybody. Welcome to Trending in the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. We're live, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. You know the drill. Whichever platform you are watching on, wherever you are watching, make sure you do me that favor. Make sure you hit that like button, that share button, that subscribe button, that follow button. Just basically hit every button you can see, every button you can find. That's what you just saw me doing right there. As we try to continue to grow this show, it is the start of NFL season officially, in my opinion. In my opinion, football is now officially here. So make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. It is free to support a local content creator by sharing a show out and subscribing to their channel. So make sure you do that, guys. I'd greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. I'm your host every single morning here on Trending in the AM. At Bearded Knowledge is where you find me. My name is Phil Stiefel, as you see it there. And we got lots to talk about. It's Monday morning. It don't feel like Monday morning to me. I worked a rare Sunday at the pizza shop this weekend, so I am a little thrown off. It doesn't feel like an overreaction Monday. But we can overreact today. And what is there to overreact to in the world of Philadelphia sports? The Eagles get smoked 26-3 on Saturday afternoon against the Vikings in the final preseason game. Meaningless preseason game, but we can still overreact to it because 26-3, it felt much worse than that. The Eagles can now start building their official 53-man roster, plus Howie can watch the other team's waiver wires and Ernest Jones and see what happens there. So we can overreact to who's making the Eagles and who is not. Who is going to get that message from somebody in the Eagles organization? Hey, coach wants to see you. Bring your playbook. Who is going to be on the list this week? I believe Friday they got to have the roster set, 53-man roster. So we will see. What else is there to overreact to? The Phillies beat the Royals in a series. The first series win against a good team in decades, it feels like. Are the Phillies back? Was it really Ranger Suarez returning all that the Phillies needed to get their mojo back? I don't know about that. We'll see. There is a very, very big week in Phillies baseball this week. So we can overreact to that. And I got some other fun little nuggets we could goof around with. Of course, Ninja Rap, the greatest cinematic moment in movie history. If you know, you know. Good morning, Little G. Hope you are well. Mikey Green, how you doing? That's right. Hit that like button. Good morning, Brian. Yes, the Phillies won a series. I'm still trying to wrap my head around Topper's brilliant state. I have in my notebook for the day, I've got oops, you can't really see it, but this whole entire side is Phillies comments. This little half a section sheet is just Eagles comments. I got lots I can say about Topper this weekend. But again, they won this weekend despite Rob Thomson. They did. I hate to say it. And yes, Rob Thomson, after Taijuan Walker got blown up on Friday, asked about Taijuan Walker's performance. Said, well, I was really encouraged about his velocity. It was really up there today. What in the holy blue hell is wrong with you, Rob Thomson? Seriously. I don't give a crap about Taijuan Walker's velocity. He stinks. Plain and simple stinks. Alec Boehm yesterday doesn't run out a double play ball and then follows it up by forgetting the outs all in the first inning. Rob Thomson does nothing. Rob Thomson, I talked to him about it and said if he does it again, we'll have to do something about it. Get the freak frack out of here. This is the problem with the Phillies. There's no discipline, there's no accountability, and there's no one in charge. We win despite Rob Thomson. Hell, even Charlie Manuel, one of the biggest player coaches, would bench Jimmy Rollins when he wouldn't hustle. There's no accountability with the Phillies. We win as a Phillies team despite Rob Thomson. And call me a Rob Thomson hater if you want. I don't care anymore. I'll accept it. JT Real Muto, yeah, he played 5 games in a row. But he drives in 7 runs on Saturday, and you take him out of the lineup on Sunday? Yeah, I know Stubbs went 4 for 4. On base all 5 at-bats. Almost hit the cycle. I don't give a shit. Bad coaching. We win despite bad coaching. That's it. I'm tired of being called a Rob Thomson hater. Honestly, I don't even care anymore. But we can talk Phillies today. We can talk Eagles today. We can talk Ninja Rap today. I got something else. I got something really funny for Sopranos fans to talk about later in the show. I could put it Robbie and brilliance in the same sentence. You can put Robbie and brilliance in the same sentence? I don't know about that. Said it for now Rob is a player, but a player manager. That was Charlie Manuel. And he still was capable of holding these players accountable from time to time. Topper don't hold nobody accountable ever anywhere. It's pathetic. Even though the Phillies won the KC series, well, now you're not going to get rid of him. We know he's not going to get fired, Michael. Despite what we think should happen or might happen, it's not going to happen. Unfortunately, but it's not going to happen. What we got to do is we got to hope this team wins despite him. Continues to win despite him. I don't know if they can. I don't know if when we get to the playoffs, they can maintain winning despite him, but that is basically what we need the Phillies to do. We need the $300 million payroll to step up and win despite him. Again, I just don't know if it's capable. The traditional pre-fight donut. What? I'm lost on that one. Lost on that one. That one sailed over my head. Like some of those meatballs that were thrown up this weekend sailed over the fence in Kansas City. I meant I cannot put Robbie and brilliance in the same sentence. Rob Thomson is the luckiest manager I have ever seen in all of sports. He is. He is one lucky SOB. The one thing that Big Al's comment does prove, guys, you can, if you are watching on Twitter, we always have a lot of people watching on Twitter. You can comment. Do not comment below the tweet. Click the video. Open up the box. There's a text chat there. You put your comments in on Twitter. I can see them. I can address them, guys. Do not miss out on doing that. But it's not just Phillies today. We are also talking Eagles, 53-man roster. We're talking about the brilliance of Saturday's preseason game, or lack thereof of it. So we can talk about how bad the Eagles' not even second string, third and fourth string looked. And I know it's preseason. It's the final preseason game. It's guys not making the roster. But it's Overreaction Monday, so we can talk about it. We could talk about how Nolan Smith played half a football game in the third preseason game. Nakobe Dean didn't play at all. Hell, even James Bradbury didn't play on Saturday. But Nolan Smith was out there for half a game of football. So that is in the conversation. Is Nolan Smith, he's not on the roster bubble right now, obviously. But could we be looking at the last year of Nolan Smith's career in Philadelphia? I don't know. Nolan Smith is going to have to do something, and soon, to turn a corner. As long as Ty throws 93 and tops at 95, Topper will still believe in Ty's ability to regain control under the guise of resting the others. Taijuan Walker, someone brought this up, Nooms, on Twitter to me this weekend. Is there any scenario, and I don't know if it's true or not, I don't have any inside information. I haven't even thought about it. Excuse me. Actually, I have thought about it a little bit, but just not this detailed. Is there anything that says that Rob Thomson wants to bench Taijuan Walker, but mid-management and upper management, because of the financial investment, are forcing him to play him? Is there any scenario where there's a rift between upper management and dugout management? We see it with the Eagles all the time. Howie Roseman, is always physically involved. Jeffrey Lurie from time to time gets involved. Is the Taijuan Walker situation coming from the top and not Rob Thomson? So Rob Thomson is just trying to find a way to say something positive about Taijuan Walker, maybe to help turn him around. Is that a scenario that's playing out? Maybe, possibly. I don't know. I'm just trying to think it out loud why we're throwing him out there all the time. Houston, Atlanta, 7 games. The next 7 games at home. We're up 6. In my scenario, the Phillies absolutely 100% need to go 5-2 over the next 7 games. 5-2 is what I want. And then I will really, truly, not overreact, realistically say the Phillies are back. But if they go 3-4 over the next 7, I don't know what I'll do. I don't know what I'll do at all. What's scary is Walker's going to pitch against Houston, Atlanta. That's one of those 2 losses. It's a scheduled loss. It is what it is. Good morning, Duck. How you doing? Phillies pull out the Royals run, but that Brave run still annoys me. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know. I don't know what to think, what to do. I'm being called a Phillies hater, a Rob Thomson hater, nonstop. I don't know how to tell people it's not that I'm a hater, but that I am just being realistic with myself. I'm being honest with myself, because that's really what I am doing. I'm just being honest. I'm just being realistic with the scenario that's at hand. Just like I'm being realistic with the Eagles. I know the Eagles are a great team on paper. They were a great team on paper last year. There's question marks with the Eagles. Hence why I'm bringing up Nolan Smith as being a huge question mark. Ernest Jones from the Rams is available. Hey, I'm calling the Rams and saying, yo, you want Nolan Smith? I don't know. I'm just saying. It's not being negative, suggesting things or criticizing people. It's being passionate and realistic. Walker opens against the Braves. There was an eye roll there. I know you can't see the eye roll. Let me look in the camera more directly, Noobs. That was my eye roll for you right there. Fire Walker. Fire Walker to the moon. And don't bring him back. Just put him on one of those, I don't know what they're called now. I thought about it, but I can't remember the name. One of those spaceships that Elon Musker has, and shoot him up to the moon. And then just leave him there. Wonder what his velocity would be like on the moon. He'd still probably weigh the Phillies down on the moon, even with 0 gravity. Walker's toast. You cannot trust him. This could be the biggest week of the Phillies season. Like Herm Edwards once said, hello, you play to win the game. Someone needs to tell Robbie that. Well, Robbie don't play to win the game. Robbie plays by, I don't know how. I don't know what Robbie does. I'm not sure. Sorry, Staten. Starting in the series against the Braves. Yeah, absolutely. What is up, Chad? How you doing this morning? Eagles, 53-man roster. Start getting set today. Phillies win a series. Let's overreact, Chris. Give me your biggest overreaction to the weekend, guys. Phillies, Eagles related. I love my Phillies. It's just that Robbie is not and has never been a good manager. They win despite their manager. There is so much talent on this. Remember, it wasn't that long ago. Then we were talking about 114, 115 wins. I'm putting them right now at about 92 wins. If everything goes the way I want them to go, they can max out at 95. I just actually, before the show, went through the entire rest of the schedule. There's 32 games left in the schedule. Maximum I have them winning is 19. It's probably around 17. Can't believe we're at the point where a 115-win team might win 92. It's insanity. Insanity. But yet, we can't criticize Rob Thomson. If the Eagles suck this year, it won't be it'll be Jalen Hurts' fault too. It won't be Jordan Mailata's fault. It won't be Saquon Barkley's fault. It won't be Howie Roseman's fault. It won't be Jalen Carter's fault. It won't be Nakobe Dean's fault. It will be Nick Sirianni's fault. Because you can blame the coach in football, even though the coach for the Eagles doesn't call the plays anymore, offensively or defensively. But it'll be Nick Sirianni's fault 100%. When the Sixers fell apart, we blamed Doc Rivers. But the Phillies falling apart, it is not Rob Thomson's fault. It's every single player on the 26-man roster instead of Rob Thomson's fault. As soon as Alec Boehm didn't run out a ground ball for a double play in the first inning, it didn't bite us in the ass, but could have. I would have been considering it. And then he forgets the outs in the first inning. I would have sat his ass down immediately. Immediately. Alec Boehm, take the pine. You're out. Sosa, you're in. But not doing that. And I don't care if Rob said after the game, well, I took him aside and said something in the dugout that if he does it again, we'll have to do something about it. No. No. You just reminded your entire team that you will let them do whatever they want with no consequences whatsoever. And that's VCP cracking out early this morning. Island of Misfits. He needs to go somewhere. As long as it's not in the mound at Citizens Bank Park anymore. Sir Anthony having a very odd start in his Royals career. 12, yeah. I've seen him blow some saves, but also outside the two blown saves, pitch amazingly well. Walker needs to be moved. Well, moved to the equipment room. Like one of those scenes from like an old WWE episode, like Raw episode, where the heel doesn't want to fight the monster. So they trap him in a closet, put like a forklift truck up against it so he can't get out. That's what you need to do with Walker. You need to tell Walker, here's your ticket. We're plane leaves at 12 o'clock for the next road trip, even though we're playing at home. He gets on the plane takes off and just leaves him somewhere. I actually do not think, Big Al, that he will start his next. I don't know how the Phillies, now that Ranger is back and Allard, or whatever his name is, pitched so well yesterday, I think you kind of got to go with, I'm trying to pull up. I don't even know his first name, honestly. There's a guy, Colby Allard, who pitched yesterday. I didn't even know his first name off the top of my head. I'd rather a guy that I don't know the first name of to pitch before before Taijuan Walker. And I think he does pitch ahead of Taijuan Walker. We'll see. Nick Sirianni shouldn't be the head coach of the Eagles right now. I disagree. I think Nick Sirianni. See, the thing is, you want to blame the players sometimes. You want to blame the coaches other times. Nick Sirianni, I think, has earned the right, at least for this season, to see if he can handle the CEO role. I like the CEO role. I think he will be fine this year. I think the Eagles will win plenty of games with him in charge. So I'm ready to give him a break. If Sirianni couldn't get to the NFC Championship game with this team, he is the issue. If it gets deep, loses, it's any given Sunday situation. Again, I think the Eagles' expectations are the championship game. But again, there's three really good teams potential for three really good teams in the NFC. The Eagles, the 49ers, and the Lions. And depends on this. If you get to the division round and you go up, say, against the 49ers in a tough matchup and you lose 35-31 on a close game, maybe Sirianni gets by it and survives more time. But if you get smoked in the divisional round or Your first playoff game? Yeah, absolutely. He goes, hell, if they get to the championship game and get smoked, I could see them moving on from him. It's all going to come down with Sirianni. The success of the team, but also what the Phillies or the Philadelphia Eagles want to do with the Kellen Moore situation. The Kellen Moore situation is going to be a part of the Sirianni situation the entire year. The Phillies know they can walk all over Robbie, absolutely, and that has been like that since he took over for Girardi, and that's why absolutely. It's like you leave the kids home without a babysitter. The daycare, home without a babysitter. They can do whatever they want. They can order pizza. They can watch movies. They can stay up late. They can have all the candy in the cupboard. Nobody's going to tell them no more. And if they throw up because they ate too much candy, they're supposed to learn their lesson. Oh, they're going to eat more candy. It's pathetic. We'll see, mister. We'll see how the conversation goes. It's been a very mild conversation. When the conversation's a mild start, that's why I tend to get to the ad reads a little early. So you got to bring the heat. You got to bring the fire if you want the over to hit. Walker's value was how good he is when he is on, and that he would always give you 6 innings. That's not. He's like worse than having Vince Velasquez out there right now. You know he's going to get 100 pitches in 4 innings. We win the Super Bowl or win the NFC Championship, then Moore is getting head coach. Absolutely. But we lose in the championship game, he still might be getting it. And the Eagles might not want to lose him. This season, I can see 2 things. I can see them moving on from Sirianni to make sure they keep Kellen Moore. I have a feeling that Kellen Moore is kind of in that Jeffrey Lurie mold of what he wants, I think. Or maybe they find a way to give him the Josh McDaniels treatment like in New England, where they made him assistant head coach and paid him a coaching salary to stay. Maybe. I don't know. That's the scenario I'm thinking. Look, we might hate Kellen. In 3 weeks' time, we might be hating Kellen Moore and all his curl routes. We really might be. We'll see. Who's the real manager of the Phillies? The Dombrowski pulling the strings on Topper. Look, I brought that up at the very, very top of the show, Brian. The Walker situation and trotting Walker out there. Someone said it to me on Twitter. Does that come from upper management and because of the money invested in him? And is there a scenario where Topper's saying these, well, I was really encouraged about his velocity this weekend. You know, is that just him saying something positive because he knows he has no choice but to play Walker every start because that's coming from up top because of the money? Philly scored 11 runs with only 1 home run. That's a sign. It's like something like 15 hits last night. Yeah. Bruce Bryce Harper in the house. What's up? Good morning. Hope you all had a great weekend. I hope you all had a great weekend. Good morning, Joe. How you doing? Weekend's always good, except I had to work all weekend. Football starts at Georgia Tech. I saw people tweeting about the Florida State game. I didn't watch it. I'll be honest. Didn't watch it. I'm not a college football junkie. It's on sometimes. It's not on other times for me. So I didn't watch it on Saturday. I had the Eagles preseason game, and then I switched to the Phillies game at the pizza shop. That's what I did this weekend. Topper definitely getting the Coat-Tight treatment. Was Coat-Tight beloved by everybody? Could Coat-Tight not be blamed for anything? Uh-oh, I see somebody popping up in the comments. Oh, geez. I don't even know if I want to read it or not. Did we give Coat-Tight? I was pretty young. I was like 12 years old when Coat-Tight was here. Did we give him a pass and I don't remember it? I thought we hated Coat-Tight around here. Let's see what Matty B has got to say. So what happened to Super Bowl or bust for the Birds? They are a 500 team, but in 17 games, that means 8-9 or 9-8. They are playing the Bengals this year, so maybe 8. I like the 8-1. But I didn't know ties could happen in football, Matty B. Didn't say it's not Super Bowl or bust. The expectations are for a Super Bowl team. But you got to also be realistic that there are some other very good teams in the NFC, and depending on the path once you get to the playoffs, et cetera, you probably think I'm going to predict like a 14 or 15 win team. I'm not. I'm really struggling with the over-under of 10.5 on DraftKings Sportsbook of whether they're going to win 10 or 11 games, because I think that 10.5 number is spot on. I don't think there are too many teams in the NFC, if any, that are like going to run away with the NFC number 1 seed. I think it's going to come down to week 17 and 18 battling for the 1, 2, and 3 position in the NFC. I really, truly believe that between the Eagles, the Lions, and the 49ers. I think they're all right around 11-win teams. But I also think there's a boatload of teams that can win 10 and 9 games. I think the NFC, I haven't really looked too closely at the AFC just yet. But from my appearance and looking in the NFC, I bet you there's a lot. I'm just going to spitfire a random number. About 10 or 12 teams that have the potential to win between 9 and 11 games this year. A lot of them in that 9 and 10 game stretch. So that's why it's not necessarily, it's Super Bowl or bust as a fan. We always want a Super Bowl. But we got to be realistic that the NFC might not have the uber elite, dominant team, but there's a lot of really good teams in the NFC, which is going to balance out a lot of records. Watching Jahan closely, yes, so was I. Number 33 in the slot. They tried to pick on him. He did okay. Cooper Jahan was the number one reason to watch Saturday's preseason game. And I know they talked about we talked about on Friday. All he wanted to do was get out there and hit somebody. And on the first defensive play, he hit somebody. Unfortunately, it was an illegal hit, and he got called for a penalty. But yeah, I get that. That's all good. He got beat a little bit in pass protection. He played well in run protection along the line. Nothing but positive things to say for Jahan. For sure, in my opinion, mister. There's a reason. He hasn't played football since November. There's going to be rust. He's going to get the Nolan Smith early last season treatment where he's barely on the field the first couple weeks of the season, in my opinion. He'll have to play his way onto the field, especially considering you've got Quinion Mitchell, you got Keely Ringo, you got Isaiah Rodgers, you got Darius Slay. You got 4 other guys ahead of him that are playing well and that are going to get the snaps early on. Now, he could, theoretically, in my opinion, beat out some of those guys eventually for playing time and snaps. But I think it's going to take time. It's going to take time to get his timing back. So, but he was very, very interesting to watch this weekend for sure. Salute. What is up, Eric? I have the Eagles at 9 and 8. It's a little conservative for my taste. But I can say I said this a few times over the last couple of weeks, Mike, and I can put it up on the board if you want to see it for a half a second. There it is. Here's the Eagles' schedule this year. It's a lot more difficult of a schedule than people realize. That first 4 games, Green Bay, Atlanta, New Orleans, Tampa, tough stretch. Then you get a little easier of a stretch after the bye. Then you got Cincinnati, Jacksonville, maybe. But then you got that L.A., Baltimore stretch, back-to-back. That's brutal. L.A. and Baltimore back-to-back on the road, brutally difficult. So this schedule's a lot harder than people. Washington's a better team. Dallas is Dallas. I don't even know what to think about Cleveland till we see if Nick Chubb can ever be healthy again or not. But the schedule for the Eagles is a lot more difficult than people realize. I had Birds 10-7. I'm thinking 10-7, 11-6. It's where I'm. We'll have that Monday for you, next Monday. But the Dotson trade moved the needle up 1 win. I do foresee early panic, though. I can see us going into the bye at 2-2. Hell, I can foresee us going into the bye 1-3. And let me tell you something. If we go into the bye 1-3, talk about panic on Trending in the AM. Talk about overreaction Mondays. Talk about panic in Philadelphia. Blah, blah, blah. It's going to be a long season that is going to make many homers question their very existence. Well, that's what makes us a homers. We live with our emotions, and when the emotions are bad and down, we cry about it. When we're high as can be. Yeah, literally and figuratively. But yeah, I do think this is a very talented Eagles team on offense. I still bring a lot of question marks to the defense. I do. I'm very honest with my expectations of this Eagles defense, Maddie. Very, very Very honest with them. Eagles fans loathe Norman Brayman and Richie Cote, especially after they let Buddy and Reggie White leave. I've said it before. I've told the story. I'll say it again. I remember driving through the streets of Miami with my dad. We were on a cruise. We were driving to a cruise ship port in Miami. We drove all the way from Philly all the way to Miami to go on a cruise. Why we didn't fly, I have no freaking idea. But my dad wanted us to drive, 2-day drive. Anyway, I remember before we went to the ship, we drove through the streets of Miami. I think we were staying at a hotel the night before. I'm talking, this is like 93, 94, something like that. And I remember it was right before, it had to be 93 because it was before Jeffrey Lurie took over probably. Driving through the streets of Florida, of Miami, and he's pointing out Norman Brayman's car dealerships. And he keeps saying, that guy right there is why your Eagles suck. Then we drive by another one. That is why your Eagles suck. That's what my dad used to say. My dad hated Norman Brayman. 11 or 12 wins. I think 12 is pushing it. I do. But possible. But 12, in my opinion, is the absolute peak. We are winning in Brazil. Brazil! I think we're 1-1 after the first 2 weeks. I don't know if we win in Brazil and lose to Atlanta, or we lose in Brazil and beat Atlanta. But I feel we're going to be 1-1 after the first 2 weeks. There's a little tease for my record prediction. I just haven't figured out which way I'm going. I loathe Buddy Ryan with the strength of 10 sons. That whole family knows some football, but look, I honestly think Buddy Ryan's a little overrated. Just like Kelly Green is overrated. Just like that whole era of Eagles football is overrated. Never won in the playoffs. Lots of talent. We want to criticize people. Let's criticize the Buddy Ryan era in Philadelphia. There's an overreaction Monday statement. The Buddy Ryan era in Eagles football is massively, massively overrated. My first taste of football. As a 1980s kid, the Fog Bowl, what was that, 88, 89? I was like 8, 9 years old for the Fog Bowl. First taste of football. And it was disappointment. That is why I'm so good at dealing with disappointment, is because my first taste of football was disappointment. My first taste of baseball was massive disappointment after massive disappointment until I was 13 and 93 happened. The Sixers, my first taste of basketball was the Sixers after Barkley got traded. Disappointment after disappointment. So my childhood disappointments set me up for what is now my fandom and being disappointed every year. Agreed, mister. I remember my uncle rocking a Phoenix Cardinals hat when Buddy and Seth went there. I did not. Buddy Ryan played the city like an FMPN. He played us into thinking he was a good coach, into thinking the Eagles were good. Buddy Ryan, massively overrated. You know what? It's kind of crazy saying it. I don't think I've ever said that out loud. And God only knows what Twitter will tell me when I put a tweet out of that, because I'm going to write it down right now. Buddy Ryan, overrated. That's a tweet for after the show. But you know who's not overrated? SherryTickets.com, the premier ticket company on the intraweb internet. Okay, go to SherryTickets.com, family owned and operated since 1946. Check out any tickets to any sporting event, concert, theater that you want. I know Adam was at another great concert this weekend, the Creed concert. Tickets he got from SherryTickets.com. No hidden fees. The price you see is the price you pay. And then if you use promo code EOP10 at checkout, you'll save an additional 10%. So why would you overpay with the rest when you could save with the best? SherryTickets.com, promo code EOP10. And right back to the comments. Buddy Ryan's love is the ornery old uncle who is tougher than nails. He was always at DC and didn't care or understand operating offense. Yeah, I guess. But what did he ever do? Maybe he was a good defensive coordinator before he came to Philly. But as a head coach, he wasted Randall Cunningham's career. He wasted Reggie White's career. He wasted Jerome Brown's short career. He wasted. Seth Joyner, Byron Evans, Andre Waters. A lot of these guys went elsewhere and had more success elsewhere. than here. Andre Waters won a Super Bowl in Denver. Reggie White, Green Bay. We know what happened there. Randall Cunningham had his best season of his career with Minnesota like 800 years after he left Reggie White. He won the MVP that year, actually, didn't he? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. ARAB. What? Starting 45 penitentiary. Big Sandy. Some of your friends from the what? What is this? It's the wrong show. I don't even know what that means. Sherry tickets. That's right. So we even got graphics for the Sherry tickets. But anyway, back to this team. Let's not talk about Buddy Ryan's overratedness. Let's talk about this team and Nick Sirianni and expectations. Again, I'm going to say it. I am concerned with the depth on this team. I'm concerned about who I saw play and who I didn't see play. Will there be any shocking cuts this week on the Eagles? I'm not saying Nolan Smith's getting cut. He's not. But would it shock you if the Eagles kept somebody like James Bradbury and cut someone young like Eli Ricks? It wouldn't shock me. Would it shock you if they cut one of the young rookie linemen to keep someone like Brett Toth? It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me if they cut Ben Summerlin. I think Ben Van Summerlin is an excellent case of somebody that everyone's hyped about making the 53-man roster. But probably isn't. Probably shouldn't. He's probably a practice squatter. We're pretty set, in my humble opinion, at linebacker right now. The interior linebackers. Devin White, Zach Bond, Nakobe Dean, and Jeremiah Trotter Jr. I'm not saying he is. I'm saying, would it shock you? What role does Ben Van Summerlin have on this team? With Dean and with Trotter solidifies the 3 and 4 guy. When we're talking about just the inside guys. Can Ben Van Summerlin play outside? I don't know. I don't think teams are going to line up to claim Ben Van Summerlin off the waiver wire, K1. Because correct me if I'm wrong. I might be totally wrong on this. But if you claim someone at this point of the season off the waiver wire, you have to put them on the 53-man roster. So say they cut Ben Van Summerlin and just make up a team. The Dallas Cowboys claim him off of waivers. He has to make the 53-man roster. You can't claim him off waivers to put him on your practice squad. He has to clear waivers, then he can be signed to any team's practice squad, K1. Nobody's wasting a 53-man roster spot on Ben Van Summerlin. Now, I like the kid. I think he's got developmental potential. Next year when Bond and White are gone, if they are, he could be the third or fourth guy. Maybe he gets elevated from time to time. I think they're linebacker, and I think cornerback, there's going to be some surprise cuts coming in the next 48 hours. I'll give it 48 hours. Bradbury and Walker on the same island. Look, James Bradbury not playing or even dressing on Saturday for the preseason game tells me that he's making this roster, guys. He is. First and foremost, so in my opinion, Sidney Brown won't be making the roster. He's going to go to the PUP list. And I think they put Tyler Steen on the short-term IR list where, 8 weeks or something like that? Both those guys are not making the 53-man roster because they're going to go to the injured list. So Bradbury is – why would you not dress him if he wasn't making the team? You wouldn't tell him you don't have to dress and then cut him the next week. Bradbury's making the 53 – shocking. But Bradbury's making the 53-man roster. I'm just going to say it, and maybe I'm using this slightly to jinx it, but stone cold dead lock. Slam the jail cell door. Lock that James Bradbury's making this team. Ben Vance, stud. Is he a stud? I don't know if he's a stud on special teams. He's good at special teams. But come on. What would you rather keep? Which is good. Would you rather keep a 6 wide receiver or would you rather keep a fifth interior linebacker? There's a question. Are you willing to lose Johnny Wilson for Ben Van Sumeren? Or are you willing to lose Aeneas Smith for Ben Van Sumeren? Or Kennard or McMahon or one of the... I'm just throwing it out there. I'm asking who's the people that are going to be shocked that get cut. I remember Marion Swamp Fox Campbell is taking over for Ramil and how horrible he was. So when Buddy came in, it brought back winning. Winning what? 10 games a year? Getting knocked out in the first round of the playoffs? Buddy Ryan didn't win jack shit, and he is beloved in our city. But Nick Sirianni has taken us to a Super Bowl 2 years ago, and everybody wants to fire his ass to the moon. Power rankings, head coaches in the last 40 years. Nick Sirianni is above Buddy Ryan, in my opinion. Boom. I got to write that down. Gotta write that down. That's gonna fire people up on social media, I'm sure. Orion Burks showed why he always makes the team. Ben Van Sumeren couldn't crack Michigan's line. Yeah, I think Burks, even though he was hurt most of camp, has a better shot at making the roster than Ben Van Sumeren. I don't have either of them on my 53-man roster right now, but yeah. Sorry, Burks deserves to make the team. Yeah, I agree. I do. Johnny Wilson, the practice squad, he clears waivers easily. Yes, but also, doesn't he have a concussion issue? Maybe he goes on short-term IR or the pup list or whatever, where he could come off at 4-6 weeks from now, and then we can see. I think Howie, he showed it the last 2 years, a lot more in years prior. Howie Roseman knows how to manipulate the 53-man roster, not just with the practice squad, but with the injured list, the short-term IR, with the pup list. He knows how to finagle things. And Johnny Wilson, maybe they're scared he won't clear waivers, but they put him on the injured list. It's an easy way to phantom IL somebody for 4 to 6 to 8 weeks and then see what you got. And Howie's an excellent GM at doing that. He knows how to finagle things, basically. I love Buddy Ryan like a grouchy uncle that can't remember your name, so he just calls you Knucklehead. Oh, is that why my uncles used to do that? He couldn't remember my name? I've been called Knucklehead by a few family members over my lifetime. Oh, amongst other things I've been called. Good and bad and very bad. Buddy was no ass kisses or yes man as Howie went to Sirianni. Either be fired or just stand there on the sideline. Look, I get it. Buddy resonated personality-wise to Eagles Nation. I get it. We're Philadelphians. We're blue-collar, hard workers. I get it. We don't want the cliche, sayings. I get it. But Buddy Ryan won nothing. Literally. That's the problem with younger Eagles fan base. They can't see anything before Andy Reid. They don't know. It could be a lot worse. It could be a lot worse. It can be. And that's the thing that I always hold on to. Even though I'm very critical of the Phillies and Rob Thomson, Matty B. It's like I went to my first Phillies game in 1986. And from then to 93, every year was a losing year. And we had that one blip on the radar in 93. Then we went 94 straight through till, 2005, 2006, before the corner started to be turned. I always know it can be much worse. So while we stink right now, this team is 10 times more entertaining than what it was like when it was June 1st and you were already out of it. So, yeah. With that said, you have no idea who's on the 53 plus 16. That's all I got from Howie, from the Howie love. I have no idea. Well, breaking news. Jalen Hurts is on the 53-man roster. So is A.J. Brown and so is Saquon Barkley. I'll just throw that out there. They're the three safes to make the roster. Preach it. I love Duck. I don't know if you guys and Matty B, if you're still listening. The great sports debate TV show way back in the day, 80s, 90s. And Comcast Sportsnet when it was still called Comcast and not NBC Sportsnet, used to air replays like at 2 a.m. of the show like 5-10 years ago at like 2 a.m. And I remember just randomly turning on one night when I couldn't sleep and watching, I think it was Eskin, it was Macnell, it was Missinelli, and I think it was Tony Bruno. And they were debating whether Richie Kotite was the right hire to replace Buddy Ryan. And they were battling it back and forth. In hindsight's 2020, but then looking at them in the heat of the moment, doing this, basically, podcasting, but on cable TV. And some of them were really right. Some of them, I don't remember which ones, were really wrong on the Kotite hire. But I loved watching that. A new variant arrives to our multiverse. Knucklehead Phil. Yes, that's one of my many variants. Knucklehead. Yeah, I love it. Yo, me 3. Leonard Toast. Oh my God. It's a good that at least some of the people that watch this show are a little, I don't want to say older. I don't want to call you all old, but a little more advanced in age and experience. We'll call it experienced. Yeah, I'm trying. It's a tough thing dude, I've been doing this for 4 years now. 4+ years behind the camera. And it's so hard to break the habit of looking at the screen and not at the camera. And I don't know why it took 4 years for me to realize I never look at the camera, but I don't. Why does it feel like Howie Roseman is cheating somehow and it's just a matter of time before we get busted? Yeah, I like that. He's running some Ponzi scheme and no one's caught on to it yet. I don't know. The Swamp Fox had such high expectations coming here. But you can see 4 games in, they needed a 5-year real rebuilding program. Yeah. You know who doesn't need any rebuilding? That's phillysportstrips.com. They are the premier travel organization there is if you want to travel to support your favorite Philadelphia sports team, or if you want to go to a great tailgate. phillysportstrips.com, go to their website, sign up, mention EOP and Trend in the AM. Obviously, their trip to Brazil in less than 2 weeks is sold out. You can't book it anymore, but they got great trips everywhere to support your Phillies, Eagles, Sixers, everything, even the Union. But, of course, all the great Birds takeover trips, Tampa Bay, September 29th. Go down to Tampa. Go up to New York to see the return of Saquon Barkley to New York into the Meadowlands. Of course, the greatest horror movie ever made, the bus trip to Baltimore, December 1st. That'll be just a quick bus trip, quick day trip there. And, of course, Dallas takeover November 10th. F Dallas week. Go down, cheer the Birds on. phillysportstrips.com. EOP at sign up, guys. You don't want to miss it. Go check them out. The best. Not overrated. Shove your replay. Try living through it. Things were terrible post Vermeil. Buddy brought back the swagger of Eagles football. The dark days are coming. Eagles Nation has blinders on. You always think the dark days are coming, first and foremost. But I watched the great sports. Shove the replay. Look, I used to watch the show when I was a kid with my dad. So I watched it in real time, but it's also fun to watch things 20 years later again to kind of realize what held up and what didn't hold up. I mean, I'm not as old as you. I mean, you're old as hell. But I'm old enough. All right? And what Buddy brought back swagger. But he didn't bring so Matty B cares about winning. But the Eagles under Buddy Ryan didn't win anything. But and this is the problem with Buddy Ryan. Buddy Ryan, hold on. Can we just backtrack? Let me just take this off for a second. How did I turn Overreaction Monday during Howie season, during cutdown season, into a long 20-minute conversation about overrated Buddy Ryan? Like, I don't know how sometimes how the conversation changes on this show so quickly. Like, I don't even know where Buddy Ryan came into the equation here. But anyway. Sure, swagger. Swagger's great. I want wins. The Phillies have swagger. I think they're tight locker room. They ain't winning shit. Sirianni only has a job because he's kissing Howie's ass and is the ultimate yes man outside of any head coach in Dallas after Jim Johnson and Bill Parcells. Maybe. You may be right, Michael. There's some truth to what you say. Bus trip to Baltimore really does sound like a slasher flick. It really does. Like, It really does. I'm not going on that trip solely because I don't want to be murdered on 95, driving through Dundalk Pier area. I remember when a pyramid scheme is successful, it's not called an economic system. Bitcoin and NBC are just modern. Look at you getting deep into the pyramid schemes. I would want Buddy Ryan with me on that bus trip. Yeah? Well, he'd be the ghost that's haunting the bus trip at this point, right? Come on now. Now, maybe we could get some of his kids or maybe his nephew, Buddy Walters, who's been on this show plenty of times. Len Toast needed money to feed the gambling habit, and he entered Buddy Ryan from the 85 Bears. Howie has turned his NFL scam into an NFL economic system using their own stupid rules. Yeah, I mean, there's a political joke with a certain former president I can make, comparisons to, but, the rules are there. Howie's just found a way to finagle the rules. Props up to Howie for finagling the rules. I can't hate him for that. If a rule's a rule, whether it's a right rule or not, you can take advantage of it. And I'm all for that. Phil, Knucklehead Phil besmirching our history. Look, it just goes right into my distaste, which I brought it up again this weekend, and every time I do it, my notifications blow up with negative comments. How much I hate Kelly Green. Because Kelly Green, to me, represents the beginning of my Eagles career as a fan. And we lost with a lot of talent every year from 88 on when I started being an Eagles fan. Just going to say, I remember details of my first few years. I remember the Fog Bowl. I remember my first Super Bowl. I was allowed to stay up to the end. Eagles or 49ers, Bengals. What was that? 88. I remember those things. I remember wanting to be Randall Cunningham more than anything. I remember when he was on the front cover of Sports Illustrated for Kids. They even still make Sports Illustrated for Kids. And I got that copy, and I just had it on my desk, and I read it, and I looked at it every single day. To be a coach in the NFL, you have to have one or the other, power or say in your team, and Sirianni has neither. Your opinion about Buddy Ryan is a snapshot of the delusional faith in Howie. How does my opinion of Buddy Ryan have anything to do with my opinion on Howie Roseman? No. They're two totally different subjects. Howie Roseman has been to a Super Bowl and won another Super Bowl. Buddy Ryan, not new shit. I'm from the era when we used to break open fire hydrants in the summertime for fun. I'm pretty sure you go to jail for that right now, mister. For sure. For sure. Although I will say, I see that comment, K1, on my side screen. It hasn't popped up on this screen yet. Here you go, K1. They popped up really large on that one. I think this summer during one of those heat waves, I was driving through the streets of Kennett, and I saw a fire hydrant open, and kids were playing in it, and the cops were there with them, letting them do it. I think. I vaguely remember that. What was that slasher film that took place on a bus trip through the desert with some monster with odd wings? I have no idea. Was that Jeepers Creepers? Maybe. I'm not really a slasher film guy. I kind of get bored in horror movies and slasher movies. I literally sit there and I twiddle my thumbs or I play on my phone. They bore me. Especially really cheesy ones because they just so predictable. There's that comment that I saw. Do you think Jim Harbaugh would stand there and have no in anything as an NFL head coach as he lost the Super Bowl like Sirianni? Look, I'm not doubting that Nick Sirianni is a yes man. That Nick Sirianni has his job because he's willing to concede some power to Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie. That's just the power structure of the Philadelphia Eagles. And if it wins us a Super Bowl or gets us to a Super Bowl, I don't care. Yeah, there's certain coaches that definitely wouldn't want to. When we went through the post, Doug Peterson era coaching search, and we interviewed guys like Brian Dabble and was Harbaugh one of them? I don't know. McDaniels was one of them. Arthur Smith was one of them. Whatever. There was a lot of guys that rotated through the interview cycle. And Nick Sirianni was picked. Nick Sirianni wasn't the most qualified. Let me tell you something. Some of those names I don't remember which ones, took their names out of consideration after their interview. They weren't told they weren't, considered. They said they didn't want to be considered. Why? Because they didn't want to be the yes men. You want to coach in Philadelphia? We're going to give you a great team, but you're not going to have 110% all power on your team. That's the way this organization's run. You come here knowing that. You take the job knowing that. I think once Howie was put in the closet, many GMs thought he was done, and so he was divulged many secrets. Yeah. Look, I think he sat in the closet and planned his scheme so that when he got out of the closet, he was ready to pounce. Basis hot take from Phil. Kelly Green is crap. He's wrong, but it is his hot. Look, I stand by my Kelly Green. Nobody's ever been able to sway me away from that Kelly Green comments. And I accidentally say Kelly Green's overrated every so often. And my notifications just ding, 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 ding because of it. Yeah. Thanks. That's the one. Kelly Green represents losing his city. Best our Eagles football has been since they. Rick, come on. We're on the same page here. We're together. Very few. Very, 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 very few people are on my side with that one. I dressed my son in that outfit for Halloween one year. They didn't realize his time in the equipment room was just made him stronger and more powerful. He became this. That's right. He became like a Sith Lord while he was in the closet. I like that one right there. They didn't want to be stuck with Jalen Hurts at quarterback. I bet you they're all a little disappointed that they don't have Jalen Hurts now. I bet you there's a lot of teams and a lot of coaches that would love Jalen Hurts right now. Howie's an accountant, not a football guy. He will never win again as a GM. I mean, he's already won twice. He's won a Super Bowl and gotten to a Super Bowl a second time. Just so you know, it's not like he did it once and that's it. And he is an accountant. I agree. I still think his financial number crunching isn't even his best trait, personally. I think it's his negotiation tactics, A, with contracts, but B, on the trade market as well. He knows how to, I guess he used an accounting formula to value trade picks and stuff like that. But to say he's not a football guy, he's been a part of the Eagles organization in a football capacity for over 20 years now. He knows enough about football now to say you can't say he's not a football guy anymore. Just like I have extreme, just like I'm called a Rob Thomson hater, you're just a Howie Roseman. If I can get called a Rob Thomson hater 200 times a day by the same person with 25 different burner accounts, I'm just going to have to start creating burner accounts to say Matty B's a Howie hater. But it's okay. I respect Nick Sirianni because he's upfront about being an ass kisser. Just keep it real as well. Look, and there's a big difference between Nick Sirianni and Rob Thomson. Nick Sirianni will dress you down on the sideline. He will yell at you. He will tell you, you got to be better. He will hold you accountable. Rob Thomson won't do that. I agree. Maybe you could have said this 10, 15 years ago, but you can't say it anymore. One team wins the Super Bowl every year. One team wins the World Series every year. Okay? Getting to the Super Bowl, yes, in my opinion, is a successful season for every team that gets to the Super Bowl. 100%. So you would rather fire everybody you hate because they didn't win a Super Bowl last year and start over again. And then after we don't win the Super Bowl the next year, let's fire everybody and start all over again. Grass isn't always greener on the other side. Getting rid of Howie Roseman isn't going to make this team better. This is the thing here. Howie Roseman gets fired. Before the ink is dry on his contract, he's got 10 other contracts on the table ready to be signed where he can pick his place to go. Howie Roseman is an excellent GM. Excellent executive. One of the best in football. Plain and simple. You people are so brainwashed. You're brainwashed. You brainwashed yourself to believe this. Howie's a genius in handling the cap and contracts. He's learned from the best. I think Howie Roseman's better than Joe Banner, to be brutally honest with you. And Joe Banner is like the bitter ex, in a relationship. Hates that that Howie broke up with him and Howie's more successful than he ever was. Whenever you see Joe Banner on social media, he's always saying some kind of nonsense. He really is. And it's kind of crazy. Not right now. We only got 30 minutes left. I agree. There are many football guys that aren't ex-players and ex-coaches. Most front offices are accountants, lawyers, and PR. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. And yes, he wasn't a football guy to start with. But when you're with a team and in a football organization for 20 years, I'm just ballparking that number. I don't know the exact number, but it feels like it's been 20 years because he was here under Joe Banner and Howie's been here since I don't even know how long. You learn enough about the sport. Nick's only job will be dressing his players down on the sidelines. He has no other job. Come on. He's got a job. He is the head coach of the football team. He will make the challenge calls. He will make the go for a fourth down calls. He will make the punt or kick or field goal calls. It'll be his job to keep the vision together. The CEO, head coach role is not a new concept. Even right now in the NFL, Mike Tomlin does it. There's a lot of guys that do it and do it successfully. Dan Campbell, we're trying to see if he can do it successfully. So the whole CEO thing, he has no power, he's this, he has no job. I think it's kind of I think it's opinion. That's how you became the New Jersey Giants. Do you want to be the next Giants? Yeah, no. Definitely not. Getting to a World Series, a successful season, Rob Thomson has done that. He has. He has. Or has he done nothing? And it was the players. Roseman way better than Banner. Absolutely agree with you on that. Joe Banner was great for his time, but he was completely inflexible. Howie will pay when Howie has learned to pivot throughout his career. Joe Banner never pivoted. He was very at the, what do you call the things the horses wear? He had the blinders on. This is it. This is the only way to do things. Howie has learned. Howie has adjusted. Howie has become better over the years. Yeah, we're definitely hitting the over today. A way over. I will bet you $1 that Tomlin has more power than Sirianni. He might have more power, big picture, but he is a CEO coach. He doesn't call plays on offense or defense. Maybe he has a little say, a little bit more say on the roster construction, but that's it. You know who always makes eye contact with his clients? No, I don't. Who? What are you talking about? Kelly Green represents the era when Philly had a true personality. We had a true personality under Kelly Green. Yeah, sure. The personality of a team that falls short every single year. Just saying. Just saying. I get it. Buddy Ryan and Kelly Green represents the personality of Philadelphia. Blue collar, hardworking, and falling on our faces all the time. Just saying. Sirianni has power. It's just no longer his offense, defense, but he has control over his staff. Yeah. Look, I think this whole CEO role thing is being way blown out of proportion with the Eagles. They're called blinkers. Is that really what they're called? Sometimes your track record, K1, of making jokes isn't, makes me call into question when you make a serious comment. So are they really called blinkers? I gotta confirm it with you. Travis, before I read your comment, were you the Travis that commented on one of my YouTube posts? So I have some poll questions on my personal YouTube page, Trending in the AM, linked below. You guys can go check it out and subscribe. I got some poll questions for Eagles rosters, and Travis commented on one of them at like 4:30 in the morning. At least that's when the notification came through. Who is up at 4:30 in the morning checking out my YouTube page? What is wrong with you if that was you? But I appreciate it. Thank you. Tomlin has complete control over his coaches and his coaching choices. Here, he doesn't have that anymore. He doesn't have the choices. I don't know. Still a little blown out of proportion. Has more power, and he is a defensive guy who won a Super Bowl. All right, he won a Super Bowl. He's won one Super Bowl, Tomlin. And he's been there for, 15 years? Nick Sirianni's been to a Super Bowl, and he's been here for 3 years. Okay? Can we give him more than 3 years to win a Super Bowl? And he's an offensive guy. I'm just saying, Sirianni probably has a little bit more power than we realize. Yeah, exactly. For a lot of reasons. blinders. They are called blinders, not blinkers. So now that's why I question why Taijuan makes a comment. I don't know if to believe it or not. I just never know because it's Taijuan. The collapse of last season began right after those horrible Kelly Green uniforms were worn. I called it out last year, Rick, on this very show. I called it. I thought they were going to lose the Buffalo game because of the Kelly Green. They ended up winning that one. But yeah. But you can always check. Nope. Remind me when's the last time the Steelers won a Super Bowl? Exactly. When was it? When was the last time they were in a Super Bowl? Lyndon B. Johnson was president of the United States. That's how long ago Mike Tomlin won the Super Bowl there. Come on. Or we're even in one. Yeah, exactly. I did. Thanks for making me famous. Look. I think it's hilarious. Like, who's up at 4:30 in the morning checking out my YouTube page? Travis. Appreciate you, my man. I love it. But yeah, some poll questions there. Who's making the team? Who's not? Maybe tomorrow when there's more votes, I'll bring them up. I also have it going on Twitter as well. But yeah. Sirianni still tells his coaching staff what he sees and then reports up to, yeah. Look, it's just a delegation thing. He delegates. I'm sure Sirianni has a big say in what the philosophy will be each week. Look, we're going up against this team. I want to see this. Now go write your offensive game plan. Now go write your defensive game plan based off of this and this. All the coaches are in a room breaking down film together. Who sees what? He is a leader. He's a delegator. I think it was a collaborative effort. Now, maybe Howie Roseman had the final say, but I wouldn't be shocked if Howie and Nick Sirianni sat down, had a list of 5 or 6 names. I know they interviewed multiple people for the offensive coordinator position. Now, for some reason, I'm drawing a blank on who else, but I know they did. I'm sure they sat down and they discussed all the names, Howie and Nick. And then maybe Howie and Nick said, or Howie said to Nick, trim it down. They came up with Kellen Moore maybe and one other name, and then Howie made the final call. But I'm sure there was a collaborative effort. Because, look, Howie wants all the power. I get it. But Howie does want to win a Super Bowl again. All right, he wants that second Super Bowl. To make Matty B happy, he wants that second Super Bowl title. All right? He's not going to not give Nick Sirianni at least some form of, like, Nick Sirianni is the guy on the field. He's the field commander. He's the NCO. He needs to be given the tools that he needs to succeed. Or Howie Roseman's going to have to fire another coach and start all over again. So I'm sure Sirianni has some power in this. It's not like him saying, no, I don't care what you think. Here, this is what you get. It was a long time ago. The Steelers haven't won a Super Bowl since the Germans invaded Pearl Harbor. I mean, it might be longer than that. Napoleon might have still been in charge. He's here. He's there to take the crap when the crap goes wrong. He's a shield for the real own. Absolutely. He's there to take the bullets from the media. And he actually does take the bullets pretty well. The fan base used to be passionate and demand winning. Yeah, we demanded winning during the Kelly Green era. And how much did we win during that Kelly Green era that you love so much? And I agree. The fan base of the Phillies has gone soft. The Eagles fans are still passionate as hell. We still demand winning. There's a reason why so many people wanted Nick Sirianni fired. I still am holding on to some hope that Nick Sirianni's leadership, his intangibles, are enough to help put this team over the top. Eagles were the first team to lose to a wild card team in the Super Bowl in those horrific Kelly Green unis under Vermeil. Yep. I can guarantee that Sirianni has no say how he wants the offense to be week to week this season over more. I disagree, Michael. I do. We tend to see eye to eye on a lot of things, Michael. We're not seeing eye to eye too frequently today. Mike Tomlin is a Division III football player turned head coach in the NFL. Sirianni is a Tomlin clone. Lori copies successful. This is very true. We always talk about how Nick Sirianni is, or Jeffrey Lurie is a Patriots way guy. No, he's a winning franchise guy. You know who else wins a lot? The greatest lawyer in the state of Pennsylvania, David R. Cherry of the Cherry Law Firm. Guys, workers' compensation lawyer, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, criminal law. If you need one of those lawyers, call the best. Call David R. Cherry, the Cherry Law Firm, 610-565-0300. Go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Let David R. Cherry fight for you and get you what you deserve. Again, David R. Cherry, Cherry Law Firm, cherryinjurylaw.com, 610-565-0300. Make sure you mention Train the AM and Edge of Philly when you do that, guys. We're into the final 20 minutes, guys, of Trending in the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. Please, if you haven't done so yet, please hit the like button. Please hit the share button and the subscribe button. If you're on Facebook, follow. If you're on Twitter, retweet and follow. Guys, let's get to let's fire through the final 20 minutes. And then let's see if any breaking news happens with the Eagles. All right, so I didn't start that, but we already put that up. Well, Tomlin has a Super Bowl and Sirianni has none. Sirianni has been here for 3 years. Tomlin has a Super Bowl. Yeah, absolutely. Like 257 years ago. What's he done lately? In Philadelphia, Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl and was gone 3 minutes later. So 3 years, and Sirianni's been to one Super Bowl. Again, I'm not giving Sirianni a pass, so to say. I'm saying I'm hoping. I'm hopeful. All this chat demands is eye contact. You're the only one demanding eye contact. And hot takes, yeah. Hot takes is what sells, right? Sex sells, hot takes sell. If you're a real diehard Eagles fan, you will reach them no matter 4 a.m. or on the other side of the world like Mike Venetia. Look, hey, that's what I try to do. I try to get everybody. Try to find everybody. We need more people to find this show. We do. More, the better. The more people that find this show, maybe someday we'll go to 2 hours. Maybe someday we'll be live on looking. Maybe someday we'll knock off whoever the hell the morning show is on the radio. I don't know. I know it's better than some of the other online morning shows. Well, it's the best online morning show. The first daily morning show on YouTube in Philadelphia. We're coming up close to the start of season 4 of Trending in the AM. Can't believe I've done this for every morning for almost 3 full straight years. Every morning for 3 straight years on vacation. Everywhere. I've done it around the world. Can't believe it. I can't believe I've been doing this every morning for 3 years. And it's gone from 60 minutes to 75 minutes. Now, we've been stuck on 90 minutes for a little while now. But there's not enough time in the day yet and not enough viewership yet to go to 2 hours. I feel like Joe Banner is the real dude that should get Maddie's wrath. I truly think he was responsible for Howie's current blind spots. It's an interesting way to think about it. It is. Eagles didn't wear Kelly Green unis until Buddy. Look at the tape. Tape don't lie. That's right. We got cherry bombs. I had eye contact during the David R. Cherry read, but you couldn't see my face. Amazing. We need a revolution to save my football team. Surprises me how hard on Nick Sirianni the city is. Keg stand Nick is one of. He talks shit on other teams. He's emotional. Yeah, you know, that's something, you know. Fans love passion in Philadelphia. Nick Sirianni is the most passionate football coach maybe we've had since Dick Vermeil. But yet people hate him. I don't get it. He has literally got that Philadelphia lifeblood running through his veins. Yet we hate on him. Should I quit on my head or double down? Double down. With Maddie wrong. 1935 was when it introduced. Do a simple Google. Oh my God. Now we're arguing in the comments about the debut of that. So what were Sirianni's untangibles last season that makes you think he is better this season? Well, he's got a better offense coordinator. He's got a 100% better defensive coordinator. Howie Roseman's brought in more talent. A true degenerate always lets it ride. That's right. You never cash out. I could have cashed out my Sam Burns bet early yesterday when he made a huge charge and almost won the BMW championship. I didn't. And he didn't win it. So I could have. Yeah, never cash out. Sirianni intangibles last season that makes you think he got better this season. I don't know. Never let the facts interfere with the narrative. No, never, never. The Kelly Green that he is talking about came into existence. Yeah, I think there is. I think Matty B might be slightly right there. There's different versions of the Kelly Green. The 80s Kelly Green is what we're all in love with, except for me and Rick. For 62 seasons, 35 to 96, the Eagles and many Hall of Famers were the Kelly Green threads, just different versions and variations of it. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Y'all put it on the over, and then I'm going to go at it with the 30-minute mark and cost you all. You're all going to be taking out second mortgages to pay for it. I wish. Don't stop at 3 years. That's like Devontae Smith. Yeah, no, I didn't say I was stopping, Travis. I will never stop. I won't lie. Some mornings when I wake up, my alarm goes off at 6:30 a.m. every single Monday through Friday, and I got to go work 10 hours at the pizza shop after this ends every day. Some mornings, alarm goes off, and I don't want to do it, but I push through. And as soon as I click go live, the energy starts flowing. And honestly, I don't even remember what my life was like before I did this every morning. And honestly, I don't know what my life would be like if I didn't do this every single morning. This is literally one of the few things I look forward to every single day. And Saturdays and Sundays, when I'm not doing a show, all I'm thinking about is doing a show. So I will continue to do this as long as at least one person tunes in every day. I'll be here for as long as you guys will have me. I can't say in your homes or in your cars, wherever you watch, on your phone, at work, on your laptop. I know my man watches on his big screen TV sometimes. George. Nick Sirianni's overdoing his act. Now that I will agree with to an extent. Sometimes the pandering is a little overblown or a little over the top, for sure. So do I. My hill of Kelly Green. My Rob Thomson hill. Come on. We all have hills we die on, sports opinion-wise. Offense not stale this season. The offense is going to dominate. We'll have to do some over-unders here. The worst part is that I agree with Maddie on a few. I agree with some of what Maddie says, too. I do. 12 likes is not good enough, okay? 4 of those are for me, and there's 11 of you watching on YouTube right now, live. There should be at least 15 likes on this right now. At least. Come on, make sure you hit that like button, guys. Well, from what I heard, is that it was Sirianni's offense being run last season. So you have faith in Sirianni saying that the game plan I want run week to week this season. Look, there was obviously a disconnect between Nick Sirianni and Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson was not qualified to be the offense coordinator last year. Hence he gets fired. No one else gave him an offense coordinator job this year. Yeah, it was Nick Sirianni's game plan. And Brian Johnson was trying to run it. This year, Nick Sirianni is going to have a theory, and Kellen Moore is going to come up with the game plan and plays. But they are going to work together. Everybody wants to win. The way you're making it sound, Michael, is that not everybody has the same goal. The goal is to win a Super Bowl. And everybody that's being paid by the Eagles, from the top down to the last equipment manager, to the locker room cleaner, all have the same singular focus to do their job to the best of their ability to win a Super Bowl this year. The assistant to the traveling secretary is even all on the same page. They're using this great new invention called offensive pre-snap motion. Yeah. Sarcasm. That's a breath of fresh air there. The Eagles MVP is Big Dom. Hey, there was one website trying to push the narrative that Big Dom's actually the head coach secretly of this team. He's really the one that's in control. Maybe he is. And if you talk bad with anybody, Big Dom's going to make you swim with the fishes. So far this season, he seems to be toning it down. He does seem to be toning it down a little bit. You would do this is no one. When I first started 4 years ago, my first podcast ever was the day after the Jalen Hurts draft in April of 2020. The first video, it was an audio-only recording. It was actually 4 years ago last week, like Friday or Saturday. First time I ever went live on a screen. But that was, there were times where nobody was watching, but I always had partners. Now that I'm a solo guy and I like to do this solo with you guys, it's very hard when there's not comments flowing in. Like we've got 168 comments today. Makes it very easy. I can't talk for 90 minutes with 0 comments. I would end the show a lot sooner if there were no comments. I bet Matty B downvoted. That's a Reddit thing. Isn't downvote Reddit? That doesn't even exist. Does it exist anymore? I don't even know. Sirianni is one of us. People get on him because he's intense and emotional. Yet this is the same fan base that buried Andy Reid because he showed no emotion. Make up your mind. Sirianni is a winner. Be happy he's not missing the playoffs. Absolutely. Now, I do want more. To go to Matty B's point, just winning and getting to the playoffs isn't enough, Rick. We've got to win in the playoffs. We've got to get to Super Bowls. We got to win Super Bowls. We talked about it last year. We got a window. We better be in multiple Super Bowls in this window and maybe win one or two. And if we don't win a Super Bowl in the next 2 or 3 years, it's going to be a total, complete waste of this window. Last season, Nick would have backhanded that crap out of you for saying motion. Absolutely. So do you think if Nick Sirianni got fired after last season, he would have gotten we debated this. We had a show last year or in the offseason before I came to ELP when I was with my last network still, I guess. That if Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman, either of them or both of them were fired, who would be hired first? Howie Roseman would be fired immediately or hired immediately by 10 organizations. Nick Sirianni, I don't know. It would have been a process. Maybe he would have gotten hired, maybe not. But he would have eventually gotten another chance. He wouldn't have been one of these one-hit wonder head coaches that get one shot, fail, and then fired and never get another shot again. Gus Bradley, so to speak. No, Nick Sirianni would have gotten another chance eventually. Well, we're past that now at 100. You're 173 on the day. Big Dom's the star. Chamber Illuminati, dark head. Yeah. My sources tell me that Josh Harris gave us Jahan Dotson because Laurie is going to use his connections to get the Sixers arena downtown. Yeah, no, probably not. Meets world never change it. No, don't ever change. Exactly. We need to talk to verify with the Grand Poobah Big Dom. Yeah, exactly. Big Dom runs the show. And then Harris gets his new stadium in Northern Virginia. It's all connected. Yeah, maybe. No, I don't think that has anything to do with it. But yes, look, we haven't really talked about the arena thing with the Sixers in a while, but I hate it. I hate the idea of it. I do. Sorry, I do. The Panthers would hire Nick in a New York minute. In a New York minute, never tied a knot. Who was that? Who sang that song in a New York? What country singer had that line? In a New York minute, never. I can't remember the rest of the words. Damn it. But anyway, I got to throw something else out there. All right. We've had a fantastic show. We got about 8 minutes left. Maybe we'll hit 2 minutes of overtime. First and foremost, nobody commented on my subheader down there. Ninja Rap. If you don't know what Ninja Rap is, someone shared it out this weekend. And I forgot about how it is the greatest fight scene / dance scene in cinematic history. Go Ninja, go Ninja, go Ninja, go. Okay? And I promised a little Sopranos tidbit. So I saw some. I follow a lot of. I was a wrestling fan, as a longtime wrestling fan. I follow a lot of wrestling reporters on social media, and whatnot. And I was yesterday, one day old, that I realized and found out that Bobby Baculari, Blue Comet Bobby, was in TNA Wrestling briefly. And he was a tag team partner of the Dudley Boys. And he claimed, storyline-wise, to be a cousin of Bubba Ray Dudley. Bully Ray is his TNA name was. That he helped set up a 3D on Big Hernandez. How did I never see Bobby Bacala in TNA Wrestling? How did I not know that? It was probably like one of those weird things that passed across my timeline yesterday that I was just like, hold on. Did this really happen? Did it? So Ninja Rap and Bobby, 6 shots, Blue Comet Bobby in TNA. 2 random things that came across my timeline that just shocked me. There was a song, but there was the line New York Minute was in a country song. And I got it. I just remember from my days hosting country western nights on cruise ships. And I would do country line dancing. There was a line in a country song that had the words New York Minute. But yeah, there was a song. I don't know if it was Burt Baccarat or somebody else. Someone else said the Eagles down there. and take my Texas time doing it. Yeah, it was a CW song, country. Yeah, I didn't know there was a ninja that was the ninja rap. I thought that was the Turtle Power rap. It's go ninja, go with Vanilla Ice rapping on stage while the turtles are beating up on the Foot Clan at the end of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. Look, let me tell you something. Those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies in the 90s, cheesy. But oh my God, I watched them as a kid so many times. Little side piece that you don't know about me. Out of all the cartoons as a kid, out of all the things I watched, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, number one. Cowabunga, dude. You said the S word that rhymes with story. I don't know. New York Minute, Don Henley and the Eagles. Yeah, but that wasn't what I was thinking of. I was thinking of something else. Disappointed in your listeners' lack of excitement in the Wings hiring NLL Hall of Famer. I saw the EOP chat freaking out about this great hiring. I don't know who the hell it is. Didn't even know the Wings were still a thing. I don't know what's bigger right now, the Wings or the Wooder Dogs, Muffler Mike. Y'all getting free. I don't know nothing about this shit. We got New York Minute was a lot of different people according to the chat. Joey Merlino's house marinated in a pot of tomato sauce. Have to wait till he's done. Ninja Turtle movies were fun, family comedy. Everyone can watch that show. Look, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon. You know, the first time I met my wife in public, like we had known each other through people, but we never really hung out. I went to hang out with her brother one night at a bar, and she happened to tag along. And I didn't know I was going to meet my future wife. I was rocking that night. I was 24 years old. I was rocking a Donatello t-shirt. And she tells me this day, she thought I was some big kind of loser showing up to a bar in a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles t-shirt. I had really shaggy hair. I just gotten off cruise ships and all. Had a little bit of facial hair, not a big beard or anything. But yeah, man, let me tell you something. My Turtles t-shirt, I still got it. It don't fit anymore. I've put on 1 or 2 pounds in the last 20 years, but I still got that t-shirt. But yeah, that's my little side note on the Turtles right there. I wouldn't doubt it. And you got to go low and slow when you're making your sauce. Got to. Always a good show. Hey, thank you very much. Last Fairway to Heaven podcast. Yes, that's tomorrow night of the year, not forever, of the season. This week is the Tour Championship. And then you go into the fall swing, and there's some weeks there's events, some weeks there's not. Some weeks are good events. We don't do it every single week once the Tour Championship concludes. But we will be doing it tomorrow. So just tell her who's the real loser, the loser or the loser that married. I like that, Duck. I might have been the loser, but she married the loser. There you go. I like it. I wish I could lose about 30 pounds so maybe I could put that turtle shirt on one more time. But they really take eye contact. I see what you did there. Eagles need to find another edge and a tight end too. Look, I guess we'll get into this tomorrow as we're coming up against the end of the show here. We really got way off target today. Way off target on today's show. We'll try to get into this tomorrow. We'll see names get cut starting today. Oh, Greg Ward has already been cut, and so is Boston Scott. No, not happening. But we'll talk about it. Tight end 2 is an interesting one from Big Sarge here. And I want to write this down. Tight end 2 with a question mark. Everyone's hyped about Grant Calcaterra this year, but I don't know. It's a lot. He hasn't done anything yet in a regular season game. That's an interesting one there. But edge is obviously an issue. Josh Harris has no pits. Just a matter of time before Roger Dale gets involved. You should do a show in the Donnie T. In the Donnie T. What? They need a tight end 3. Calcaterra is solid and his blocking has gotten better. A lot of hype and a lot of hope for Grant Calcaterra. We'll see. But with that being said, I think it's time to wrap this shebang up for Monday. This was one of those weird, wild, wacky shows that went off the hinges pretty quickly. Not in a weird way. Not an over-the-top way. We did get I didn't get to put the graphic up, but I'll put it up now. The Skip Bayless hot take of the day was pretty basic. It was Buddy Ryan is the most overrated Eagles head coach of all time. Without a shadow of a doubt. I already went over that, but I had to put the graphic up for the day for my man Stevie Fuentes. I started the Buddy Ryan crap to get, and you did quite a job of it, Gibbs. Quite a job getting us off target. But it was fun. That is what makes Trending in the AM such a special sports show. We discuss the trending topics, but we discuss everything. Everything is on the table, except for politics. We never talk politics. Oh, shoot. I missed Dolan's Bar. Did I? Well, I guess we get overtime now. Make sure you guys check out the great quintessential Irish-American dive bar in Delaware County, Dolan's Bar. 24 East Sellers Avenue, Ridley Park. Great food, great times. DolansBar.com, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Go check out PJ and the crew. They've been rocking it for 65-plus years there. The premier place right there. Man, there's a lot of big things happening at Dolan's Bar on a regular basis. So make sure you check them out. Make sure you mention EOP and Trending in the AM sometime when you go in there to somebody, guys. And also, make sure you subscribe to the EOP Network. 7-day-a-week program. You got Football Smack Talk today. Talking sports with Matty B. Go give him the shit that he gives me. Party on Broad and Phillies Astros post-game live tonight. 5 shows today on the channel, so make sure you're locked and loaded to EOP at all times. I'm sure I'm going to get hassled for missing that. Oh, my God, I just lost out on a bunch of comments. Donatello T-shirt. Yeah. That's right. We'll get to that in a second. I saw that. It's in my notes to mention today. I can't believe it. We didn't get to the other thing on my notes, LaShawn McCoy being entered into the Eagles Hall of Fame this season. So that'll be something that we could talk about this week. Oh, my goodness gracious. Duck with the save. Yeah, thanks. I almost missed that one. We really had too long of a random topics today. I missed a few things. But with that being said, guys, we are into overtime here, so we are going to wrap it up. Trending in the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. Please like, share, subscribe, follow, retweet. Do what you can. You want 2 hours of shows? You want more content from me? You got to get the numbers up. You got to hit those like buttons and share buttons and tell friends to subscribe and follow. The more involved, the longer we can go, guys. But with that being said, I got to wrap it up for the day. For Edge of Philly Sports, I'm Phil Stiefel. Ring that bell tonight, Phillies. Let's get a W. Go Birds. And bubbles up to all of you.